Okay, so let's solve another little question. 1071, greatest common divisor of a string. So we have this question. Let's say for two string s and t, we say t divide s if and if only s equals t plus plus plus. Okay, let's leave that aside. That may not be easy for us to explain based on that. But yeah, all it's saying is that we have a two string. One should always be lesser or equals to the other one, and it's expected that the lesser one should be contained in exact chunk in the bigger one. So which means if you have a string one and string two, you said that it is common divisor if you can find string two in string one. The greatest common divisor, so to speak, which means it must also be we should be able to have a string that is common to the two, and it is the greatest chunk. In all of this, what I'm trying to say in essence is that let's say you have a string. Let's say, sorry, I need to quickly change this. Okay. So let's say you have a string A, B, C, and this is a string, the first string, and you have another string A, B. There's another string, and let's say you have a third string A. There's another string. So what is the greatest common divisor in all of this? It is A because you have A being common to this, and it's also common to this. But now let's take it further, and let's say you have A, B, C, D, E, and you have another string, let's say um, A, B, C, and you have another string A, B, and you still have another string A, let's say A, B, C, D. So in all of this, what is the greatest common divisor? So one thing is A is common to all of them, and B is also common to all of them. A, B is common to all of them. C is common to the three of them, which is the first one, the second one, and the fourth one. But in all of this, the greatest common divisor is the one that is common and is the most, has the most number of character, which is you have AB here, AB here, and AB here, and also you have a AB here. So it is the greatest common divisor. Now, this is should be something that a bit something we can relate to from finding greatest common divisor in number mathematics with numbers. But a bit of a trick of it is what we can apply to this one. And let's see one thing that is a bit similar to this kind of question from mathematics. Now let's say we have two numbers, 8 and we have 4. The greater common divisor in this is 4 because you have 4 can go in 4 and 4 can go in 8 twice. And let's say you now have 8 and you have 6. Now, the greatest common divisor in this one is 2 because you have 2 can go in 8. 1 is also a factor of 8. 2 is a factor of 8. Let's just list all the factor of 8s, right? I think that will even make it more explanatory. If you list all the factor of 8, you have 1, you have 2, you have 4, and you have 8 itself. And for this 6, the factors of 6 can be 1, 2, 3, and 6. So what is common to these two the factors is we have 1 and 2, and you also have 1 and 2, but the greatest of it is 2. So that's what this says what's greatest common divisor means. Now, if we now want to take it into this very solution of string, it's almost the same idea, but how do we try to translate it to string? Now, for the first thing is the fact that you need to make sure that there must be the same chunk in both string 1 and string 2. And one of the things you need to first do is whenever you want to write a code about this is that the edge case that you need to always satisfy is the fact that ABC, and that's for the string one. ABC here and ABC here. When you combine it together, you should be able to have whatsoever you have forward should also be what you have backward if you combine this. I mean, when you concatenate this. Because if you don't have that, then there's no way you can find greatest common divisor. So the trick, what I'm saying is this: if you have this combined with this, you notice that you can have ABC, ABC, ABC. Now, what if you combine this first before this, which means you take string two to the first part of string one, you still have ABC, ABC, ABC. The same thing with this. If you have A, B, A, B, A, B, and you have A, B, A, B, if you take this string and you join it with this, you notice that you're still going to be having A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. And if you take this string and you join it here, you're still going to be having A, B, A, B, A, B. So that doesn't apply to Leet's code, because if you have Leet and you put code together, you're going to be having Leet, CODE. But if you reverse it and you put CODE to the front, then you now have CODE, LEET. That doesn't satisfy the condition. Now, to now go further, how do you find the greatest common divisor? Is to make sure you have an algorithm that you can actually use to compute the greatest common divisor. And the algorithm goes thus: your whole number, you want your whole number in this case. Let's just say you have your whole number to be 8, and take your remainder to be 4, just to start with. And now what you want to do is that you want to make sure you swap your remainder to your own number, and you calculate the remainder until your remainder is 0. So what I want to do now is this is my first iteration. And this is my first iteration. Then the second iteration, which is going to be the first computation step, I want my own number to be equals as my remainder, which is 4, and let my remainder, then I calculate remainder the very way I'm supposed to. 8 modulus division of 4 equals 8 modulus division of 4 is 0. Now, when I have my remainder to be 0, then I can return my whole number as my greatest common divisor, which is now going to be the whole number, which is 4. Now, if you check 8 and 4, the greatest common divisor between the two of them is 4. Now we can quickly do this for another number just to check that we have an algorithm that is working fine. I'm going to be using 8 and 6 in this very step of iteration. So for 8 and 6, now let's quickly pick 8 and 6. We can choose O number to be any of the number, but I always like to choose the big one. And let's remainder to be 6. So on my first step, step 1, first step or first computation step, I will have my remainder of my O number to be 6, and my remainder will be 8 modulus division of 6, and 8 modulus division of 6 will be 8 modulus division of 6 will be that you're going to be having remainder of 2, because 6 can goes in 8 1 and you have remainder of 2. And now that takes me to the second step. Let me say the second step. Second step, my O number in this case will now be 2, and my remainder will now be 2. Sorry, my O number is 6, my remainder, which is 2 before. So 6 modulus division of 2, you're going to be having 0. So you return 2, which is 2 is now your greatest common divisor. GACD is 2. Now, that's how you calculate the greatest common divisor. And how do you apply this into your string? So the index at which the greatest common divisor is going to start from is the same index at which is being returned when you calculate the greatest common divisor from the number. So let's go and try this with the code. First of all, we want to check if string 1 concatenated with string 2. String 1 plus string 2, if it's not equals as that, as the reverse form of it, which means concatenate string 2 with string 1. I'm going to do it something like this. In Java, you use equals equals string 2 plus string 1. So if this is not the case, then we can return an empty string. Just return an empty string. Return an empty string because that is not going to have a command divisor. Then we go and say, okay, we go and say, what is the command divisor now? We can say, okay, int find what is whole number length, the length whole. So we can get the whole of string one dot length. So we get the length of that. Same thing for we do the same thing for let's say the remainder and say the string two should be our remainder based on the explanation we have in the other time. String two dot length, and we can return simply one of the string. We always work return the substring of any one of them, which is a substring from 0 to the very greatest common divisor that you're gonna be finding. We're gonna be writing method to find the greatest common divisor. GCD, let me say GCD of using O number, using the O length and the remainder. Okay, so which means we expect this to return an integer of where we're gonna be stopping our string. And now, how do we do that? So let's now try and compute the GCD, which is private int. Of course, we want to return the number, private in GCD. And GCD, we say, okay, take int whole and take int remainder. So based on the explanation we did earlier, we're gonna be saying, okay, let's calculate the greatest common divisor. First thing you say, if the remainder is 0, we're gonna be doing recursion in this case. So the base case is if the remainder equals 0, then return the whole number. Okay, but if this case is not being satisfied, then return a computation of GCD again, which you're gonna be doing. Remember, I said we're gonna be trying to swap our remainder for the whole number, which is remainder, and the whole number we're gonna be calculating our remainder using whole number modulus division of remainder. Okay, with this, we should be able to have a greatest common divisor calculated with this. So yeah, I think this is fine. We can just try and quickly look through if there's anything we need to quickly fix. Okay, if this is not if string 1 plus string 2 is not equal to string 2 plus string 1, then definitely it's gonna be empty because it's not gonna be having a greatest common divisor. And yeah, we can get the old number, which is what we're going to be using for the old number is the length of string 1. What you're going to be using for the remainder is the length of string 2. Of course, you can use any length, you can use them interchangeably. Then we're going to be returning the substring of old number, substring of 0 to the index of greatest common divisor number that you get. And now you can calculate recursively what the greatest common divisor is by saying if the remainder is 0, return the whole number. But if that's not the case, which is our base case not satisfied, calculate the GCD again by saying remainder should now be the whole number, and let the new remainder should be whole number modulus division of remainder. That's a modulus division to give us the remainder, of course. And let's try and run this. Okay, so this works fine, and of course, after running this, we can try and submit and see. Okay, that also works fine. It was able to calculate the greatest common divisor string in 1 milliseconds. Yeah, thank you for that. You can try and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.